Welcome to the Daily Jerry Anderson podcast, where the presenter has been attempting to work up enthusiasm for recent developments in football. He's not succeeding. Spurs match, who are they playing?
They're playing AC Milan, I think it was.
Wonderful. What was the result?
No score.
No score? What does that mean in the overall scheme of things?
Spurs went through.
Good. Excellent.
It was
What about
very
West
good.
Bromwich Albion? Are they through?
No, it was very good. Good. Another step near the England manager's job for Harry.
Harry who?
Harry Redknapp.
Harry Redknapp is the most sincere man I think I've ever heard talking.
Is the what?
The most insincere man I've ever heard
I
talking.
don't think so. I think he's good.
You just know you wouldn't believe a single word he says.
No, I think you're wrong. I think
It's like a barrel boy.
No,
Come on.
Yeah, I think
Anyway,
he's good.
listen, lingering resentment. Isn't it amazing how long these things last?
He'll be a good manager for England.
No, they'll never get near it. I was just wondering, do you remember I went on a vacation a little while back?
Yes.
There's lingering resentment at yourself and Jerry Kelly's stint. And I shouldn't read this out, but I think it's important. I was very glad to hear you return to the airwaves after your little vacation, as they say over here in Motown, is in Detroit. Since I entered the #1 local profession in Detroit, which is unemployment, I've started listening to your programme on a daily basis using the Radio Ulster podcasts. A wonderful invention. Sean seems like a very nice person. But the first week you were away, I swear my laptop started to turn into a time machine. He was announcing everybody's requests, cleverly mentioning the terrible songs they were asking for whilst not actually playing most of them, although he did play a lot of them. I was convinced that nobody could play these requests, that is, until Jerry Kelly came in. I swear to God. Jerry's playlist was taken from the last night I played with the show band at the Cushendall Marquee in 1973, and that was a very bad year for marquees in Cushendall. That was before I embarked on a career adventure as a folk music bass player. God help me. On this side of the Atlantic, your absence was a frightening warning of how radio could be if we're not careful and be vigilant. The presenter has been looking into the possibility of acquiring an American accent. Whilst researching the cheapest option, he has noticed that many people here have beaten him to it. Now, there was a man on the other night. He was the ombudsman, some kind of ombudsman, not a real ombudsman, but a kind of a tiny ombudsman. And I was sitting in the house trying to figure out if he was an American who was working in Northern Ireland or a Northern Ireland guy who'd been an American.
Yeah.
And he was great. He was talking like that.
Yeah, that's
he was
right.
talking about one thing and another. But you just couldn't figure it out. Now, if it was a Scottish person, speaking with an American accent, you would know if they were Scottish, but you wouldn't know with him because his whole accent sounded either completely Northern Ireland or completely American. You couldn't make up your mind whether he was from here and working here or from there and working here, which is because the accent is so... And when Graham McDonald's speaking like that, it's very difficult sometimes to realise where he's actually from, if he's from Port Stewart or indeed if he's from Detroit or Miami.
There's a complaint, and I noticed that.
Come on.
Oh, by the way, if Graham McDowell...
Come on, bring them on, them on.
If Graham McDowell's listening, tell Graham I'm short of Titleist balls.
Excuse me?
Golf balls. Titleist.
Janet, plug your ears with cotton wool. He's on one today.
I'm not.
Yes, you are. It's a malapropism. Go ahead. Go on. Bring on the complaint.
Jerry is talking too fast.
I know I'm talking
Why
too
is
fast.
that? I noticed that.
I'm talking too fast because
Why
I'm
are you talking
excited.
fast today? Hey?
Please thank the kind and honest person
I heard someone. I'm not going to mention any names. But
who
someone
handed
on
my
the
purse.
radio this
Who handed
morning-
my purse into B&Q a couple of months ago and didn't leave their name or address. That's from Marie Claire, who appreciates very much getting her purse back, which she lost in B&Q a couple of months ago.
I heard someone this morning on the radio, I say no names mentioned, all right, but they were reading the weather forecast. And
Yes.
They were going that fast, you couldn't understand a word that... Well, you could understand what I'm saying, but you said, what's the weather forecast? What is she talking about?
Would you please play a birthday request?
Janice said Lillian's going out.
Congratulations, Gillian.
Lillian, she's on one.
Oh, sorry, Lillian. Good morning, Lillian. You're going out, aren't you? When was the last time you were out? 1968?
I give you a kick in the head.
The presenter's initial attempts at an accent are not catching the public imagination in the way that he had hoped. The public makes his view known.
That's an awful American accent.
It's not supposed to be an American accent. It's an accent of a guy from here who's been in America for quite a long time and has been successful as coming back and talking to us on the radio and television. As a matter of fact, the best accent is what do you call the flute player? James Galway.
James
James, James Galway's different. James talks like that. He's saying, I'm playing with the Berlin Philharmonic with Herbert von Karajan. You see, that's a different type of thing.
What about
I'm always very happy to play in the Ulster Hall because they've done it up remarkably well. One of the first times I played a flute was in the Ulster Hall, and I said to myself, my God, they've really worked this place to a T.
What about Eamon? It's all about you, isn't it?
It is all about me. Where's Eamon?
He's in Ballymena.
Is he?
Yeah.
Well, why doesn't he ring up and talk to me?
He's there.
Oh, is he here? What's his name again?
I was talking to you, but you went off on a James Galway spiel.
I'm sorry, this is what happens to me.
I'm from Cushendall, I'm not from Ballymena.
Oh, don't be so pushy. All right, then.
It's
What
an
can we
old
do?
stomping ground of your old friend, Tony Macaulay.
Oh, Tony, I was just thinking about him the other day. Do you know what we were doing? Remember what we were doing the other day, Sean? And we were doing what he used to do. What he used to do? Holy.
I don't remember.
Remember?
No.
I don't remember that conversation.
No, I don't remember that.
Tony used to always do a particular thing. If you said something that was unusual, he'd say, holy. And he'd have another word.
That's
holy.
You better not repeat that.
Many a grown man in the darkness of the cinema allows his emotion to get the better of him whilst watching the film. The presenter, who knows when he is being manipulated by major movie studios, resists such cheap sentimentality. He's strong. I think I'm pretty much a cold fish, you know. I mean, I've never. Somebody asked me the other day, was there ever a movie that I cried at? And I had to actually say no. I've never cried at a movie, not even Madam X.
No.
Did you ever cry at a movie, Sean? I tell a lie. Now that I remember, the only one movie I ever cried at was, guess what it was?
Lassie?
No. Lassie Come Home? No.
The Fighting Sullivans?
No. Well, I remember I crying at the King's Speech because I couldn't wait to get out.
So much,
couldn't wait to get out.
Yep, so we heard.
Well,
I know it was a James Stewart movie.
No, I'll tell you what movie I cried
Go
at.
on, tell us.
I cried at Bambi.
Oh, yes.
I
You
would
must have been about...
Remember in the forest and he's looking for his mummy?
Yes.
And remember,
but what age were you?
He was
38.
No, were you a big lump?
What do you mean was I a big lump?
Were you a big lump? I mean,
No, I wasn't. I was kind of like 14, 15.
that's not crying. That's not crying.
I
That's
remember.
childish. That's a childish act. Just that was not crying.
A childish act.
Aye, that's not
Okay,
crying.
okay.
So I remember. You see, not crying.
Well, I wish I'd remembered that the other day in the plane, actually. I was flying from in a plane the other day, and there was a child in the plane going, "Ah! Ah! Ah!" I'd been doing like that for the entire flight. And if the person had said to me, so what's that? I said, oh, that's not crying. It's a childish thing.
But see, you have to tolerate that. A child's in an aeroplane. It doesn't
Oh,
know what's
listen
happening
to
to
you.
it.
Listen to you.
Yes.
Listen to
You, you must put your.
I
You must
think
put
a
your.
baby
Oh, listen to
parachute
Gandhi.
is in the
Put yourself
ordinary
in that child's nappy.
I think I'm already in it.
Yeah, no.
No,
But
but
I
I'd love
watched-
to see you sitting beside that Wayne.
Yes, you can tolerate it once you know.
Yeah, you'd be great. Yeah,
No.
you'd be so tired. I just imagine you'd be stuffing rags
A
into his
child,
mouth.
a child misbehaving is different from a child. And when a child cries, there's something wrong with it.
Yeah, but it doesn't make you feel
But a
any
child
better.
misbehaving's different.
It's crying into your ear. It's
Yeah, but
annoying
it's
you.
crying. And, yeah,
Oh, that's all right, little child. I know you're just doing what nature comes naturally to you. Just because you're
you don't know.
screaming
That
in
be
the-
child. It could be affecting its ears. Could have a pain in its ear or something like that. It doesn't know what's wrong with it.
Well, it was a pain in the arse anyway. I
Yes,
tell you,
yes,
that's all I can say.
I remember watching Schindler's List
Yes.
and not realising I was crying until I felt the tears actually running. No, I wasn't going boo hoo hoo hoo. You know what I mean? I was just sitting there watching this, and you were so overcome with emotion. I didn't realise my eyes had filled up until they started. Until I felt tears come down my cheeks. That was the last film that and the only film I cried at. Madam X. I sat through Madam X, and I felt as though I had a parsnip stuck down my throat. There's such a lump in my throat. I wanted to cry.
Sean, do you cry quietly or do you sob?
No, I know I know what he's saying because anytime I go to the movies, I always bring a parsnip with me. Thank you for listening. Back tomorrow.